The Deloitte Top 200 Awards include for the first time the Judges Award. This award enables the top 200 panel to highlight performance the judges feel is of importance to the business community. The judges have chosen Air New Zealand as the inaugural recipient of the Judges Award for the hard work and sacrifice Air New Zealanders have made and continue to make to keep New Zealand connected to the world and domestically during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Air New Zealand holds a special place in the Kiwi psyche. For an island archipelago in the South Pacific, having a national flag carrier is not only a prime lifeline to the world, it's also a source of pride for the many international awards that Air New Zealand has chalked up as the world's best airline. But when COVID struck in March 2020 and New Zealand borders shut hard, the airline had to pivot very substantially and fast. Routes were closed, planes parked up, staff massively downsized, customers felt disenfranchised, the share price collapsed. Flight demand was down 95% almost overnight. As Chief Executive Greg Foran later said, it was a traumatic time. Over 4,000 Air New Zealanders, 1/3 of the workforce, departed the business. Others took salary sacrifice. But with government backing, this airline, a critical part of New Zealand's logistics, kept servicing exporters and taking their products to the world. By mid-2021, some pilots and crew had already spent more than 100 days in isolation. This was the upshot of keeping New Zealanders connected to the world. Some pilots, even found tradesmen, were unwilling to work on their homes through fear of infection. The disruption from COVID was enormous and unpredictable.
Overall passenger revenue for the airline is down 70% or $3.5 billion from pre-COVID levels. Travel bubbles have come and gone. Plans to open the international border are now shelved with the emergence of Omicron. Network planning has been severely affected. Plans to recapitalise the balance sheet have been repeatedly put off, and customer concerns intensified with the uncertainties. While impressively the airline's average operating costs have about halved, the much smaller volume of staff had to respond to all these factors while themselves living with and working through these disruptions and uncertainties, and some of whom have been the first affected with Omicron. On the bright side, prior to the nationwide lockdown in 2021, domestic performance had been fairly resilient at around 90% of pre-COVID levels, highlighting the airline's strength as crucial transport infrastructure in New Zealand. And cargo revenue increased over 70%, aided by government-supported flights, as New Zealand strived to support export markets. As judges, we noted the efforts of the board and management in their steadfastness in the face of the COVID pandemic. But we recognise that this award is actually an honour that truly belongs to the entire staff of Air New Zealand, who have strived to respond to these enormous challenges, and in doing so, have maintained strong support for the brand and the service offering that Air New Zealand provides.